And in this message, I need to ask each and every one of you that are you ready? Are you ready? Because the day of reckoning is near. Are you ready? We talk a lot about forgiveness. Forgive and forget. But at times it is disheartening when we feel what we are doing is just to forgive and forgive and forgive. Yet others are there just to hurting and hurt us more without any consideration or remorse. My brethren, to those who hurt others, you need to mind others' feelings as much as yours. Let your liberty be not a snare to you. If you call yourself a true believer, mind your language and others' feelings is a top priority. It is written, do unto others what you would like them to do unto you. That is Matthew 7, verse 12. Are you doing to others exactly what you would like to be done to you? The way you treat everyone around you, is that the same way you would like others to treat you also? Your judgmental disposition, do you want to be judged in the same manner? We judge people every day. We do things every day. Do you want the things that we do others, do we want them to be done to you? Know this, my brethren, whenever you do, whatever you do to others and hurt them, you must be aware of the fact that you will face the same penalty as those who fail to forgive on your account. What I mean is, when you think that you can do things and hurt others, and then you go away with it, saying the person it's his responsibility to forgive. The Bible says you will face the penalties for making others feel the way they feel. You will face the penalties of making someone angry with you to the point that he cannot forgive you. Since you have been the reason for causing the black-heartedness of your brother, because we know that unforgiveness causes the heart to be darkened, causes the one not to accept things that are supposed to be the things that build up. It brings sadness in a person. And all that we are as believers, if we are responsible for those things, that means we will be held liable for the way our brothers are feeling. This is because there are times when you hurt others so deep, but you fail to grasp the extent of it, because you spend time looking at justification instead of apologizing and finding a way of making peace with our brothers. We know we jump to say one has to forgive. You must forgive. You are a believer. You must forgive. and we don't know that we are actually digging our own grave. You come up with this other justification as you lessen the depth of hate in your mind, and you end up saying, he must snap out of it. It has been 4 years now. What type of person is this who cannot let go of the past? Do you know when your brother is holding on to the things that you have done 4 years ago? That means he is holding your life for 4 years because you have made him fall from grace. We have a proverb in the African culture which says it is easy for an axe to forget how many trees it has chopped down, but it's not easy for a tree to forget which axe has chopped it down. That's why you find people saying you should snap out of it because it happened long time ago. But by so doing, the person at times is not in a good position, or is not spiritually old enough to grasp the fact that we should let go. We come with a deception, and we said time is the greatest healer. Time cannot drive demonic spirits out of a person which has been induced by the actions or words that would have said. Do you know, we all can remember the words that were said to us when we were even young. And those words, when they are repeated, they will still come and jog something within our hearts. That's when you find someone who will start crying because of the words that were said years ago. Because we lessen the depth of that, and we say a person should snap out of it. We all know, especially us from Africa, our fathers used to beat us up when we do something wrong. But right now, if you ask me whether I still feel the pain of being beaten by my father, I will not even relate to it. But if he had said a word to me, you know, even today, I would be remembering the word. And at times I will be even crying because of that same word that was said. With our words and action, at times we tend to transform a lively, full-spirited individual to a spiritual wreck, who has come to be in a position of not forgiving. And you wonder why, and carry on as if nothing happened. Meanwhile, you have killed a brethren and made him a zombie spiritually by allowing the spirit of unforgiveness to live inside the brethren. My brethren, there is no forgiveness for unforgiveness. I want you to know that there is no forgiveness for the spirit of unforgiveness. Yahweh will not forgive us if we don't forgive others. Have you considered Paul's words? It is written, on account of this, if meat offends my brother, I will not at all eat flesh forever, so that I do not offend my brother. Here, Paul saw the importance of not offending our brothers. For Paul saw to it that even if it means eating, because life, internal life, is more, it is more than just eating, than the life of our brother. If we think we can do things and hurt our brother and think that we can go scot-free, we are lying to ourselves. Because when we say we do things for our brothers, we see the word of Paul, that Paul was speaking of a spirit of servitude, that we are supposed to serve one another. We are supposed to sacrifice and a self-denial for the good of others. Have you evaluated your actions, your conduct, your words, and the associations to see if they do not offend others, especially in the assembly, at work, in the homes, and everywhere? Or you have adopted the world's attitude, even as a priest of your home, that says, it's my way or the highway, at the detriment of others, your wife and your children included. It is written, and Yeshua said to the disciples, it is impossible that the offense should not come, but woe to him by whose hand they come. And it is better for him if a milestone turned by a donkey is put around his neck and he be thrown into the sea, than that he should cause to stumble one of the little ones. My brothers, I want you to look at this very, very careful. Today, I'm not talking about the offenders. Sorry, I'm not talking about the offended. I'm talking about the offenders. That if you offend a brethren and you think that you are like an axe that goes around chopping down trees, but here Yeshua is speaking to you. He said it is better for one not to be offended. But if you do, if the offense comes, woe is the one that the offend comes through his hand. Meaning we need to be very careful of the way that we speak to one another, the way we speak even to our wives and children, that the offense that comes to them, and if we don't know it, it's woe to us who has a hand that brings that offense. This is the offender. The offended is supposed to forgive. But if he can't forgive, it is woe to the one who offended. Because that of the one who has been offended is one of those that has stumbled. And Yahweh will hold you responsible, you the offender, and the offended, because he's supposed to forgive. So you see how important it is as believers that we need to mind our words so that we are not going to offend people. If eating meat offend my brother, it is better for me not to eat meat, because Yeshua said, woe to him by whose hand these offenses come. My brother, at times we don't take things serious, but in view of Yeshua's word, how serious do you consider the act of offending others in comparison to the word of Yahweh? You claim that you are a true believer, but your mouth is foul-ridden and is a loaded gun in the hands of a madman. You are blinded by a self-centeredness and selfishness. You become careless when speaking. Because the unholy trinity, me, myself, and I, is firmly anchored in your life. My brethren, remember, words are spirit, and the very living, life and death comes from them. Have you taken time to look at most of the conflict that you have had with others? Have you reevaluated your role with the eyes of an outsider and see if your hand is still clean? If they are, then look at the intention of your heart and see if it is pure, not with deceit in all the happenings around you. There is no smoke without fire. Either you hate others by your maintenance of a position of ambiguity, or isolate, opening doors for the spirit of doubt to enter and attack others. Regardless of your claim of clean hands, your hands are soiled. Remember, brethren, as from today, if possible, as far as it depends on you, live in peace with all men. This is the advice of Paul in Romans 12, verse 18. Are you striving to live in peace with all men, or are you a showstopper? Whenever you enter the room, people run in different directions, and you are proud of your being feared. The word says about the Messiah, he is coming like a thief. Are you ready for the day of reckoning? Are you sure you will be found with your hands clean? That's for you to answer. No one can answer that for you. Brethren, let's try to avoid offending others. As far as peace is concerned, if it depends on us, we should live in peace with all men. If we offend anyone, let's go and make peace to the person that we have offended. If you go to that person and say, forgive me, I have sinned against you, the way you go to him and humbling yourself, and I am very sure that the person will forgive you. If he doesn't, you have cleaned your hands are clean, and Yahweh will actually see your forgiveness and he will forgive you. Thank you, my brother.